All it takes is one glance at the 2022 McLaren 765LT Spider to know you're going to be in for a mind-blowing experience, thanks to its elongated, aero-optimized figure, those dihedral doors, and absurdly low ride height that give away much of the game. But it's not until you're strapped to its rigid, race-inspired carbon fiber seat with the high-strung twin-turbo 8-cylinder wailing behind you that you discover what the 765LT experience is all about. With 755 ponies and 590 lb-ft of torque pumped to the rear wheels, you can channel your inner Daniel Ricciardo piloting an F1 race car at Silverstone. Although its exterior appearance can border on intimidating, the 765LT inspires confidence behind the wheel as you get familiar with its incredible performance envelope. Whether you're at a racetrack or on a canyon road, you'll be tempted to push it ever harder into the next corner, given its potent power, planted feel, and extraordinary grip. We spent some quality time in the evolutionary successor to the 720S Spider on the road and at the track in an exploration of its limits, which proved to be among the highest we've ever recorded. Those waiting for their sold-out 765LT Spider will likely spend time at the track with their new four-wheeled weapon once they finally take delivery, and well they should, given the numbers we recorded during our testing. It's not the quickest car we've ever tested, with the 60 miles per hour mark rushing by in 2.9 seconds onto a quarter mile in 10.3 seconds at 142.6 miles per hour. The 0 to 60 miles per hour number is a bit behind McLaren's estimates, but the McLaren supercar's grip proved to be record-breaking stuff. It's 21.8 second at 1.01 G. Average, run through the Motor Trend Figure 8, was the best we've ever recorded. The 765LT's braking power is just about as good as its dynamic performance, stopping from 60 miles per hour in a neck-snapping 93 feet. Road test editor Chris Walton, who set the Motor Trend record in the 765LT, was blown away by the McLaren's otherworldly performance. "Acceleration is explosive," he said. "Steering is remarkably talkative and tells you exactly how much grip you have." But the Big Mac proved to be hard to master during testing, given that there's a vague sense of understeer on the skid pad with the treat of turning it into oversteer at any moment, according to Walton. This from a guy who test drives as many as 200 cars a year. During the straight-line tests, road test analyst Alan Lau reported that the 765LT's Pirelli P0 tires lacked grip at launch, a possible reason for its 0 to 60 miles per hour time, and the shifts from its 7-speed twin-clutch transmission were harsh but quick and on time. Its 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 mill takes most of the credit here, as it quickly delivers all of its power to the rear wheels, while its relatively low 3,223-pound curb weight aids the performance cause. Driving on Angeles Crest Highway, one of the best driving roads in Los Angeles, the 2022 McLaren 765LT is as exotic as it gets. There are few cars that deliver the kind of feel the McLaren offers, especially on a deliciously winding mountain road like the Crest. Corner after corner, we felt more and more comfortable behind the wheel, pushing harder and braking later while feeling and hearing the explosive roar and wild whoosh of its twin-turbo V8. Yes, the cabin was loud, the seats were uncomfortable, and everything vibrated, but the experience while commanding the 765LT was intoxicating, to say the least. Acceleration is immediate, and the steering is razor-precise and well-balanced. Simply point and shoot where you want to go. Some on staff were a bit perplexed by its minimal travel, pressure-sensitive brake pedal, but this is race car stuff, and the stopping power was intense when we mashed the pedal hard, slowing into a corner. We also enjoyed seeing the air brake in action when pressing hard on said brake pedal and watching the rear spoiler quickly flipping almost vertical to provide more downforce and stabilize the rear end. With comfort, sport, and track modes available for the powertrain and suspension, we swapped between comfort and sport modes during our time on Angeles Crest Highway and noted a big difference between them. Naturally, sport turns things up a notch, with the shocks feeling tighter and more direct, while the shifts are harsher and more pronounced. We reserved track mode for our experience at the Willow Springs Streets of Willow circuit, and although we didn't see a whole lot of change between sport and track, we noted the McLaren seemed a bit more tail-happy in track. We said earlier the seats were uncomfortable, and that's because the 765LT test car we had in came with the brand's super lightweight racing seats. The lack of cushioning made it hard on our backs, and some of the staffers complained about the lack of mid-torso lateral support, as it seemed like the seats were built for the average-sized American, not leaner folks. Beyond the seats, there are other options. We can't exactly describe the cabin as a welcoming place to be. Its space is constrained, and because everything has evolved around its lightweight philosophy, there's very little space to place your belongings, if any. The McLaren's infotainment screen is small and about as basic as it gets. Bluetooth is the most advanced technology it supports. Plus, there's a bit of a learning curve, as some of the cabin's controls are well hidden, like the side view mirror switches, secreted down by the driver's right knee. But, honestly, if you're one of the few who've bought a McLaren 765LT, the last two paragraphs should border on meaningless. This is a car you buy because of its otherworldly performance, driving feel, and thrilling experience. It may not be the most comfortable supercar, and good luck if you're going to spend more than 2 hours in one in local traffic, but when you're behind the wheel at speed, hearing its engine, feeling its power, and upshifting and downshifting on a twisty canyon road, comfort is the last thing on your mind. We rarely describe a car as a spaceship on wheels, but the 2022 McLaren 765LT is about as close as it gets, especially with a price of $490,810 that sounds like a down payment on a real spaceship.